Hi. There's something beautiful about the thief on the cross. It's a story of a man with no time to perform and no time to prove himself and no religious resume to offer. It's just a broken heart and a simple plea. Remember me. That's what he asked. And Jesus responded with mercy, right? He had no hesitation, he had no conditions, he had no delay, just had mercy. So let me say this clearly: the thief's situation was dire, and his salvation was real. It was powerful, and it was a stunning display of grace. But sometimes when we talk about that moment, what happens is we flatten the timeline, and we miss the nuance that makes this story even more beautiful. Because the cross was not the end of the redemptive story; it was the turning point. Jesus didn't only die. What happened was he was buried and he descended, and then he rose and he ascended, and the Spirit was poured out. There's a timeline here, and the resurrection matters in that, not because the cross was insufficient, but because the resurrection is the vindication, it's the victory, and it's the inauguration of new covenant life. Paul said that if Christ had not been raised, then our faith is in vain. So the thief stands in a unique moment in redemptive history. He was saved by grace, he was saved through faith, he was saved by the mercy of Christ while hanging beside the very sacrifice that would soon reshape the covenant landscape for the world. And I'm not dismissing salvation. It magnifies the mercy of Jesus. It reminds us that Scripture is not just theology; it's unfolding history, and observation isn't contradiction when we observe these things. Nuance is not denial. Recognizing covenant transition doesn't weaken the gospel, it actually deepens our awe of it. The thief shows us something profoundly comforting. No one is too late for mercy, no one is too broken for grace, and no one is beyond the reach of Christ, even in their final moments. But his story doesn't end at the cross, because ours doesn't either. We live on the other side of resurrection life, empowered by the Spirit, invited not only to be forgiven, but to be transformed. And that's the fullness of the good news of the gospel. You're never too far gone to reach out to Christ.